I've seen plenty of panels like this. Careful language, polished answers, safe talking points. But this moment was completely different. The moderator leaned in and said, "So, crypto's okay, right?" And the laughter that followed wasn't ridicule, it was realization. A quiet acknowledgement that the thing that they'd spent years dismissing was now too big, too integrated to ignore. That signal, offhand comment, felt like validation. Not hype, not speculation, but confirmation that the tide had already turned. And if you're new here, welcome. This is layer one. Here, we slow things down and we make sense of the shifts happening underneath the headlines. Because while everyone else is chasing price, the real story is the one happening in the rooms like the one we just saw. Rooms where the future of money is being decided. That moment happened in Riyadh at the Future Investment Initiative, a yearly gathering of the world's most powerful investors, CEOs, and policymakers. It's not a crypto summit. It's where the people who move trillions of dollars talk about what is coming next. And this year, something changed. For the first time, blockchain and digital assets weren't punchlines. They were part of the plan. One of the earliest voices we heard at the conference was Ray Dalio, the billionaire founder of Bridgewater Associates, the largest hedge fund in the world. Governments actually call him when they want to understand global markets. On stage, he said something that cut through all the market talk. He said 60% of the world can't read above a sixth grade level. He wasn't criticizing, he was pointing out reality, that our understanding of the world shapes the systems we build. If most people can't grasp complex information, how can they participate or even see the revolution happening in finance right now? Dalio went on to say that governments tend to move slowly when it comes to innovation. They're cautious, risk averse, and hesitant to bet on the future until it's safe. But that's exactly why moments like Riyadh matter so much. Because innovation doesn't wait for permission. And the people who understand what's happening right now will lead the next wave. A few sessions later, on another stage, David Rubenstein sat with some of the biggest names in finance, like Jamie Dimon, Steve Schwartzman, David Solomon, Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock. $10 trillion under management, the biggest money manager on earth. Years ago, Fink called Bitcoin an index of money laundering. But in Riyadh, the word he chose was different. It was tokenization. He said, "We're not spending enough time talking about how quickly we're going to tokenize every financial asset. And most countries are ill prepared for that move." He wasn't predicting the future. He was describing it. Because for him, tokenization isn't about crypto as an investment. It's about crypto as infrastructure. The next generation of markets. And when the conversation wrapped, the moderator smiled and said the line that started this episode. "So, crypto's okay now." Everyone laughed, not because it was funny, but because they knew it was true. Crypto was no longer a dirty word. It was becoming the foundation. And let's slow that down and focus on this word tokenization for a second. It sounds technical, but it's actually really simple. It means taking something that exists in the real world, a house, a bond, a painting, and giving it a digital fingerprint that lives on blockchain. That fingerprint proves ownership, tracks transfers, and cannot be forged. Here's how David Schwartz, Ripple's chief technology officer, put it. Tokenization can eliminate problems with asset transfer and ownership. It lets us track who owns what and removes the risk and paperwork from every transaction. Think of a building turned into 10,000 digital shares, each one representing a piece of ownership. You could own one brick, sell it instantly, and prove it immediately. Or a painting. Instead of one person owning the painting in entirety, hundreds could own verified fractions. Those tokens aren't just numbers. They're digital certificates proving who owns what. And that proof exists forever. No middleman, no missing paperwork. Even supply chains can use this technology. Products tracked from creation to delivery. Their authenticity verified step by step. That is tokenization. Real world value made digital, transferable, and trustworthy. And this is where Ripple fits directly into the conversation. For a decade, Ripple has been building infrastructure that lets value move as easily as information. The XRP ledger supports native tokenization and real-time settlements. It's already doing what others are now beginning to explore. Then there's RLUSD, Ripple's US dollar-backed stablecoin. It's not designed to replace banks. It's designed to help them move faster, to connect tokenized assets and traditional liquidity into one seamless system. So when you hear Larry Fink talking about tokenization, and you realize Ripple's already engineered those rails, you start to see how early this still is, and how far ahead some of these builders have been working quietly in the background. Then came Brad Garlinghouse, Ripple's CEO, sitting on a completely different stage. He said something simple, but very revealing. There isn't a consensus yet. In blockchain, consensus is what happens when separate systems agree on the same truth. It's the digital handshake that makes the whole thing work. So when Brad says there isn't consensus, he isn't talking about code. He's talking about the world, the standards of how digital money moves, how it's verified, how it connects across borders. Those rules are still being written. And that's not a problem. That's an opportunity. Because the absence of consensus means the architecture is still forming. And that's where real innovation happens. Let's put it all together now. Dalio reminding us that understanding drives progress. Think reframing tokenization as the next frontier. Schwartz explaining how it all actually works. Garlinghouse putting out that the blueprint isn't yet finished. It all leads to one conclusion, in my opinion. The laughter in Riyadh wasn't about crypto being trendy. It was the sound of acceptance, of realization. The world's biggest financial players finally see what this technology can do. And Ripple, the company that's been building regulated, compliant, interoperable rails from day one, is standing in the middle of that conversation. That offhand question, so crypto's okay now, might go down as one of the quietest turning points in finance. Not because it changed anything overnight, but because it revealed what has already changed. I'm James Harris, and this is Layer 1. Here we make sense of what's really happening beneath the surface. The bricks of a new financial world are being laid right in front of us. And even if it feels slow or uncertain, this moment, in my opinion, feels like certainty. Stay tuned, because next we'll look at how these systems being built are starting to connect, and what might it mean for the next chapter in this space. Thank you for joining me. See you next time.